Oh my goodness. Did you see that woman trip over her own designer heels trying to catch the elevator? I swear some people have more money than coordination.
That was absolutely hilarious. She dropped her entire Hermes bag, and everything spilled out. I counted at least 3 different credit cards and what looked like a divorce lawyer's business card. Wait, you two are gossiping about some random woman again? Don't you have actual jobs to do instead of standing around the lobby like vultures?
Excuse me, Mr. Workaholic, but observing human nature is part of my marketing expertise. That woman looked familiar though, like I've seen her somewhere before. You're all terrible. That poor woman was clearly having a bad day. Maybe instead of laughing, someone could have helped her pick up her things.
Oh please, Bianca. She's probably richer than all of us combined. A little embarrassment never killed anyone. Besides, she didn't even notice us laughing. Can we focus on why we're all here? The board meeting starts in 10 minutes, and I still haven't reviewed the quarterly reports.
Relax, Carter.
The reports are fine.
I already went through them twice. Our numbers are up 30% from last quarter. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was absolutely insane. Did I miss anything important, or are you all just standing around chatting as usual?
Monroe, perfect timing. We were just discussing the entertainment value of watching rich people fall down in public.
That sounds like a typical Tuesday morning conversation for you all. Are we ready for the board meeting, or should I expect more philosophical discussions about gravity and expensive footwear? Monroe, you look different today. Did you do something with your hair? It looks really nice. Thank you, Bianca. I decided to try something new. Sometimes change is exactly what a person needs to feel like themselves again.
All right, enough small talk. We need to get upstairs. The board members hate waiting, and you know how cranky they get when meetings start late.
Carter's right. Let me grab my presentation materials. I have some excellent ideas for the new marketing campaign that will blow their minds.
Your presentations always blow something, Fiona. Usually my concentration because you use so many flashy graphics.
My graphics are artistic masterpieces. You just don't appreciate true creativity when you see it. I'm curious about this new campaign. What's the target demographic this time? High-end luxury consumers, specifically women between 25 and 45 with disposable income and a taste for exclusivity. That sounds like the same demographic we targeted last quarter. Are you sure that's the right approach? Trust me, Bianca. I know this market better than anyone. These women want to feel special, unique, like they're part of an elite group.
Speaking of elite groups, has anyone heard about the changes happening in the executive suite? There are rumors about new appointments. What kind of rumors? Please tell me they're not bringing in more consultants. We already have too many people telling us how to do our jobs.
I wouldn't worry too much about consultants. Sometimes new leadership brings fresh perspectives and better opportunities.
Fresh perspectives are fine, but I hope they don't mess with the systems we've already established. Some of us have worked really hard to build our departments.
Change can be good though. Maybe new leadership will be more understanding about work-life balance and employee satisfaction. As long as they don't cut my marketing budget, I'm happy. I need those resources to execute my vision properly.
Your vision involves spending ridiculous amounts of money on campaigns that may or may not work. That's not exactly reassuring.
Lance, you're being unnecessarily harsh. Fiona's campaigns have been quite successful lately. The numbers speak for themselves. Thank you, Monroe. Finally, someone who recognizes talent when they see it.
We should head upstairs now. The elevator is here, and I don't want to keep the board waiting any longer.
I'm nervous about presenting my department's performance. The numbers are good, but I always get anxious speaking in front of the board.
Don't worry, Bianca.
You're excellent at what you do. Just speak confidently and stick to the facts. They'll appreciate your honesty and dedication.
Plus, if you mess up, we can always blame it on technical difficulties. Works every time.
That's terrible advice, Lance. Bianca should own her presentation with confidence and charisma.
Can you all please stop giving presentation advice in the elevator? We're almost there, and I need to review my notes one more time.
Carter, you've been over those notes 100 times. You could recite them in your sleep at this point.
He probably does recite them in his sleep. I bet his dreams are full of spreadsheets and profit margins. Very funny, Lance. Some of us take our responsibilities seriously instead of treating everything like a joke.
Here we are. Conference room is right down the hall. I can see the board members are already seated and waiting. Perfect. Time to dazzle them with my presentation. I've been practicing my opening line for weeks. I'm sure you'll do great, Fiona. Just remember to pace yourself and leave time for questions.
Questions are the dangerous part. That's when they start poking holes in your brilliant ideas. Lance, could you try to be supportive for once? We're all on the same team here.
Look, they're gesturing for us to come in. Here goes nothing. Actually, here goes everything. This presentation could determine our department budgets for the entire next fiscal year. No pressure at all, Monroe. Thanks for that encouraging thought right before we walk into the lion's den.
The lion's den with very expensive suits and the power to make or break our careers with a single decision. Enough. We're walking in now with confidence and professionalism. Let's show them what we're capable of achieving.
Good morning, board members. Thank you for taking the time to meet with our department heads today. We're excited to share our quarterly results and discuss our plans for continued growth and innovation. I've prepared a comprehensive presentation that will demonstrate our marketing department's incredible success and future potential.
Our sales figures speak for themselves, but I'm happy to provide additional context and analysis as needed. The financial projections show sustained profitability across all major revenue streams with opportunities for strategic expansion.
Before we begin with individual presentations, I'd like to address some changes that will be affecting our company structure moving forward. Changes? What kind of changes? Nobody mentioned any structural modifications during our preliminary meetings.
Are we talking about personnel changes or operational restructuring? Because those are two very different types of changes. I hope these changes won't interfere with our current projects. We have several major initiatives already in motion.
As long as the changes don't negatively impact our employees, I'm sure we can adapt to whatever adjustments are necessary. The changes I'm referring to involve leadership transitions at the executive level. Some of you may find these transitions particularly interesting. Leadership transitions usually mean someone's getting promoted or someone's getting fired. Which category should we be worried about?
Or excited about, depending on who's moving where and whether it creates opportunities for the rest of us. Can you be more specific about these transitions? Vague announcements make me nervous about budget implications.
I think it's best if I let the board explain the details. They're much better equipped to provide accurate information about personnel decisions. That makes sense. We should probably start with our scheduled presentations and address personnel matters at the end. Agreed. I'm ready to present my marketing strategy whenever you'd like me to begin.
Same here. My sales analysis is complete and ready for review. Financial reports are prepared and organized according to the format you requested last quarter.
Excellent. I believe the board is ready to begin with presentations now. Wonderful. Let me start by explaining how our latest campaign exceeded expectations by targeting luxury consumers with precision marketing techniques.
Those precision techniques resulted in a 42% increase in qualified leads, which directly translated to increased sales revenue. The revenue increase contributed to our strongest quarterly performance in 3 years, with profit margins exceeding projected targets.
Employee satisfaction surveys also showed improvement, indicating that successful financial performance positively impacts workplace morale. These results demonstrate the effectiveness of coordinated departmental efforts and strategic planning across all business units. I'm particularly proud of the creative elements we incorporated into our campaign. The visual branding resonated perfectly with our target audience.
Visual branding is important, but conversion rates are what really matter. Pretty pictures don't pay the bills.
Pretty pictures that convert into sales definitely pay the bills, Lance. Art and commerce can work together beautifully.
Both perspectives are valuable. Aesthetic appeal attracts customers, but solid business fundamentals keep them coming back.
Customer attention is crucial for long-term success. Happy customers become loyal customers who recommend us to others. Word-of-mouth marketing is incredibly valuable because it costs nothing and generates authentic credibility with potential clients. Exactly. That's why investing in quality creative content pays dividends beyond the initial campaign period.
I can't argue with results. The numbers prove that your creative approach is working effectively. Speaking of numbers, should we move on to the detailed financial breakdown? I have comprehensive charts and projections prepared.
That sounds perfect, Carter. The board will appreciate seeing the specific data behind our success stories. I'll follow with employee satisfaction metrics and how they correlate with our improved performance indicators. This has been going much better than I expected. Usually, board presentations feel more like interrogations than collaborative discussions.
Don't jinx it, Fiona. We still have to get through the question and answer session. The questions are often more revealing than the presentations themselves. That's when they really test your knowledge.
I'm confident we can handle any questions they have. We know our departments and our results better than anyone. Plus, we've been working together long enough to support each other if anyone gets stuck on a difficult question. Teamwork makes everything easier. I'm glad we have such a collaborative group dynamic.
Collaborative when it suits us, competitive when necessary. That's probably why we're successful. Healthy competition drives innovation and excellence, as long as everyone benefits from our collective success.
Success should definitely benefit everyone involved. That's what makes a workplace culture truly sustainable and positive. I agree completely. When everyone wins, the company wins too. Well said, Bianca. Now, let's finish these presentations so we can celebrate our inevitable success.
Inevitable might be a strong word, but I like your confidence. Confidence based on solid performance data is justified confidence.
Then let's proceed with justified confidence and show them what we've accomplished. And what we plan to accomplish in the future with continued support and resources. The future looks very bright for all of us, doesn't it?
Bright enough to require expensive sunglasses, apparently. Let's focus on the presentations now. Celebration can wait until after we've secured our budgets.
Agreed. Time to demonstrate why investing in our departments is the smartest decision they can make.
Here we go then.
Let's show them what professional excellence looks like. Professional excellence with a touch of creative flair, naturally.
And solid sales numbers to back up all that creative flair. Numbers don't lie, and our numbers tell a very compelling story.
A story of growth, innovation, and strategic success across multiple departments. With happy employees who are motivated to continue delivering outstanding results. This presentation is going to be legendary. I can feel it.
Let's make sure the legend is based on facts rather than wishful thinking. Facts and figures, properly presented with clear analysis and actionable recommendations.
Everything we need to secure continued support for our initiatives and projects. I'm feeling much more confident now. Thank you all for being such supportive colleagues. Support is what makes great teams even greater. We're definitely a great team.
Great teams produce great results, and great results speak for themselves. Then let's let our results do the talking for the next hour.
Perfect.
I think we're ready to begin with the detailed presentations now. Ready and excited to share what we've accomplished together. This is going to be absolutely perfect. I can already see their impressed expressions.
Impressed expressions that hopefully translate into approved budget increases. Budget increases that will allow us to expand our successful initiatives even further.
Expansion that benefits everyone involved in our organization, including our employees, who deserve recognition for their hard work and dedication. Recognition and resources to continue pushing boundaries and achieving excellence.
Excellence that generates profit and sustains long-term business growth. Growth that validates our strategic approach and departmental coordination.
Coordination that has brought us to this moment of presenting our collective success. Success that we've earned through collaboration, innovation, and determination. Determination to prove that creative thinking and business acumen make an unbeatable combination.
Unbeatable when supported by solid data and measurable results. Results that demonstrate the value of strategic investment in talented teams.
Teams that are ready to take on even greater challenges and opportunities. Opportunities that will benefit our company, our employees, and our clients. Our clients who trust us to deliver exceptional value and innovative solutions.
Solutions that generate revenue while maintaining the highest standards of quality and service. Service excellence that builds lasting relationships and sustainable competitive advantages.
Advantages that position us for continued success in an evolving marketplace. A marketplace where adaptability and teamwork are essential for thriving. Thriving is exactly what we've been doing and what we plan to continue doing.
With the right support and resources, there's no limit to what we can achieve. Achievement that benefits everyone involved in our organization's continued growth.
Growth that starts with today's presentation and extends into our promising future. A future that looks brighter because of the foundation we've built together. Together, we've created something truly special here.
Special enough to deserve recognition and continued investment. Investment that will pay dividends for years to come.
Come what may, we're prepared to face future challenges with confidence. Confidence earned through hard work and proven success. Success that speaks louder than any presentation ever could.
Though our presentation will certainly help articulate that success clearly. Clearly and convincingly, with data to support every claim we make.
Making claims we can substantiate with concrete evidence and measurable outcomes. Outcomes that reflect positively on everyone involved in achieving them. Everyone should be proud of what we've accomplished this quarter.
Pride justified by performance that exceeded expectations across multiple metrics. Metrics that tell the story of disciplined execution and strategic thinking.
Thinking that has positioned us advantageously for continued growth and success. Success that creates opportunities for professional development and advancement. Advancement that rewards talent, creativity, and collaborative effort.
Effort that has produced tangible results worthy of recognition and support. Support that enables continued innovation and market leadership.
Leadership that sets the standard for excellence in our industry. An industry where reputation and results determine long-term viability. Viability that depends on maintaining the high standards we've established.
Standards that differentiate us from competitors and attract quality clients. Clients who value excellence and are willing to invest in superior service.
Service that reflects our commitment to professionalism and continuous improvement. Improvement that keeps us ahead of market trends and client expectations. Expectations that we consistently meet and often exceed through innovative approaches.
Approaches that balance creativity with practical business considerations. Considerations that guide our decision-making and strategic planning processes.
Processes that have proven effective in generating consistent positive outcomes. Outcomes that validate our methodology and justify continued resource allocation. Allocation of resources that maximizes return on investment across all departments.
Departments that function cohesively to achieve common organizational objectives. Objectives that align with market opportunities and competitive positioning.
Positioning that leverages our strengths while addressing potential weaknesses. Weaknesses that we've systematically addressed through targeted improvements. Improvements that enhance our capability to deliver exceptional client value.
Value that generates loyalty, referrals, and sustainable revenue growth. Growth that provides stability while enabling strategic expansion initiatives.
Initiatives that position us advantageously for future market developments. Developments that we anticipate and prepare for through proactive planning. Planning that considers multiple scenarios and contingency strategies.
Strategies that minimize risk while maximizing potential for positive outcomes. Outcomes that reflect the quality of our preparation and execution.
Execution that demonstrates our collective competence and professionalism. Professionalism that builds trust with clients, colleagues, and stakeholders. Stakeholders who recognize the value we create through dedicated effort.
Effort directed toward achieving measurable improvements in key performance areas. Areas where we've established benchmarks and consistently exceeded targets.
Targets that challenge us to maintain excellence while pursuing innovation. Innovation that keeps us competitive without compromising proven methodologies. Methodologies that have evolved through experience and continuous learning.
Learning that enhances our ability to adapt and respond to changing conditions. Conditions that require flexibility balanced with strategic consistency.
Consistency in delivering value while remaining responsive to new opportunities. Opportunities that arise from our reputation for reliability and excellence. Excellence that has become our defining characteristic and competitive advantage.
Advantage that we've earned through sustained commitment to quality outcomes. outcomes that speak to the effectiveness of our collaborative approach.
An approach that has transformed individual talents into collective strength. Strength that enables us to tackle larger projects and more complex challenges. Challenges that we embrace as opportunities for growth and development.
Development that benefits individuals while advancing organizational objectives.
Objectives that we pursue with determination and strategic focus.
Focus that has enabled us to achieve remarkable results this quarter. Results that position us well for even greater success in the coming months. Months that will test our ability to sustain and expand current momentum.
Momentum that we've built through consistent performance and smart decisions. Decisions that reflect careful analysis and collaborative consensus building.
Building consensus while maintaining efficiency and meeting deadlines. Deadlines that we consistently meet without compromising quality standards. Standards that we uphold through attention to detail and professional pride.
Pride in work that produces meaningful value for clients and stakeholders. Stakeholders who have invested their trust in our ability to deliver results.
Results that exceed expectations and justify continued confidence in our team. A team that has proven its worth through dedicated effort and smart execution. Execution that transforms ideas into successful outcomes through coordinated action.
Action that produces measurable improvements in key business metrics. Metrics that demonstrate our contribution to organizational success and growth.
Growth that creates opportunities while maintaining stability and quality. Quality that distinguishes our work and builds lasting professional relationships. Relationships that form the foundation for sustained success and mutual benefit.
Benefit that extends beyond immediate results to long-term strategic advantage. Advantage that we must continue to earn through consistent excellence.
Excellence that has brought us to this moment of presenting our achievements. Achievements that reflect the best of what we can accomplish together. Together, we've built something remarkable that deserves recognition and support.
Support that will enable us to achieve even greater success in the future. A future that looks bright because of the foundation we've established today.
Today marks another milestone in our journey towards sustained excellence. Excellence that we will continue to pursue with passion and determination. Determination that has carried us through challenges to reach this point.
This point where we can confidently present our success and request continued investment. Investment that will pay dividends through continued growth and innovation.
Innovation balanced with proven strategies that minimize risk and maximize returns. Returns that benefit everyone involved in our collective success story. A story that continues to unfold with each successful project and satisfied client.
Clients who value our expertise and trust us with their most important initiatives. Initiatives that we approach with professionalism and commitment to excellence.
Excellence that has become our trademark and competitive differentiator. Differentiator that sets us apart in a crowded marketplace. A marketplace where reputation and results determine success or failure.
Failure is not an option when you have a team committed to winning. Winning through preparation, execution, and unwavering attention to quality.
Quality that our clients expect and our team consistently delivers. Delivery that meets deadlines while exceeding performance expectations. expectations that we set high and then work diligently to surpass.
Surpassing goals requires dedication, skill, and effective collaboration. Collaboration that leverages individual strengths for collective achievement.
Achievement that validates our approach and justifies continued investment. Investment in people and processes that generate sustainable competitive advantage. Advantage that we've earned through hard work and smart strategic thinking.
Thinking that guides our actions and produces consistently positive outcomes. Outcomes that reflect our commitment to excellence and professional growth.
Growth that benefits individuals while advancing organizational objectives. Objectives that we pursue with enthusiasm and unwavering determination. Determination that has brought us success and will continue driving future achievements.
Achievements that make us proud of our work and confident in our abilities. Abilities that we continue to develop through experience and learning.
Learning that keeps us current with best practices and industry trends. Trends that we monitor closely to maintain our competitive position. Position that we've earned through consistent excellence and innovation.
Innovation that enhances our value proposition while maintaining reliability. Reliability that builds trust and generates repeat business opportunities.
Opportunities that we pursue with strategic focus and tactical precision. Precision in execution that produces superior results and client satisfaction. Satisfaction that creates loyalty and generates positive word-of-mouth referrals.
Referrals that validate our reputation and expand our client base. A base that appreciates quality work and values long-term partnerships.
Partnerships that benefit everyone involved and create mutual success. Success that we celebrate while remaining focused on future opportunities. Opportunities that await us as we continue building on our strong foundation.
Foundation that supports ambitious goals and sustainable growth strategies. Strategies that balance risk and reward while maintaining operational excellence.
Excellence that has become our standard operating procedure. Procedure that ensures consistent quality and reliable outcomes. Outcomes that validate our efforts and justify continued confidence in our team.
Team members who contribute unique skills to our collective success. Success that creates value for clients while advancing our professional objectives.
Objectives that we pursue with passion and unwavering commitment. Commitment that drives us to exceed expectations and deliver outstanding results. Results that speak to our competence and justify continued support.
Support that enables us to tackle larger challenges and pursue bigger opportunities. Opportunities that we approach with confidence earned through proven performance.
Performance that has established our reputation for excellence and reliability. Reliability that clients count on when they need superior results. Results that we deliver through teamwork, dedication, and professional expertise.
Expertise that we continue developing to stay ahead of market demands. Demands that we meet with innovative solutions and quality execution.
Execution that transforms plans into profitable outcomes for all stakeholders. Stakeholders who recognize and appreciate the value we create. Value that extends beyond immediate deliverables to long-term strategic benefit.
Benefit that justifies investment in our continued growth and development. Development that enhances our ability to serve clients and achieve objectives.
Objectives that align with market opportunities and competitive positioning. Positioning that leverages our strengths and differentiates our services. Services that clients value because they produce meaningful results.
Results that exceed expectations and generate satisfaction across all stakeholders. Stakeholders who support our efforts because they see tangible returns.
Returns on investment that validate our strategic approach and execution. Execution that reflects our commitment to professionalism and excellence. Excellence that has brought us recognition and new opportunities.
Opportunities that we pursue with the confidence that comes from proven success. Success that positions us advantageously for continued growth and achievement.
Achievement that makes us proud while motivating continued excellence. Excellence that has become our defining characteristic and competitive edge. Edge that we maintain through continuous improvement and strategic innovation.
Innovation that enhances our capabilities while preserving proven methodologies. Methodologies that have generated consistent success across multiple projects.
Projects that demonstrate our versatility and commitment to quality outcomes. Outcomes that build trust and generate opportunities for expansion. Expansion that we approach carefully to maintain our standards of excellence.
Standards that distinguish our work and attract quality clients. Clients who appreciate superior service and are willing to invest accordingly.
Investment that enables continued growth and strategic advancement. Advancement that benefits everyone involved in our success story. Story that continues evolving as we pursue new challenges and opportunities.
Opportunities that test our abilities while rewarding our dedication. Dedication that has produced results worthy of recognition and support.
Support that enables us to maintain momentum and pursue ambitious goals. Goals that we achieve through teamwork and unwavering commitment to quality. Quality that our clients expect and our team consistently provides.
Provision of superior service that generates loyalty and repeat business. Business that grows because clients trust our ability to deliver results.
Results that validate our approach and justify continued confidence. Confidence that we've earned through sustained excellence and reliability. Reliability that creates stability while enabling strategic growth.
Growth that we pursue with careful attention to maintaining quality standards. Standards that guide our work and produce consistently superior outcomes.
Outcomes that reflect our professional competence and dedication to success. Success that we will continue pursuing with determination and teamwork. Teamwork that transforms individual efforts into collective achievement.
Achievement that makes us proud and motivates continued excellence. Excellence that has established our reputation and opened new doors.
Doors that lead to opportunities for greater impact and success. Success that we embrace while remaining humble and focused on quality. Quality work that speaks for itself and builds lasting relationships.
Relationships that form the foundation for sustained business success. Success that validates our efforts and justifies continued investment.
Investment in excellence that pays dividends through superior results. Results that demonstrate our value and commitment to professional growth. Growth that enhances our capabilities while maintaining our core values.
Values that guide our decisions and ensure ethical business practices. Practices that build trust and generate positive outcomes for everyone.
Everyone benefits when excellence becomes the standard expectation. Expectation that we meet consistently through dedicated effort and skill. Skill that we continue developing to stay ahead of evolving demands.
Demands that we address with innovative solutions and quality execution. Execution that produces results worthy of recognition and continued support.
Support that enables us to achieve even greater success going forward. But before we proceed with quarterly discussions, I have something important to reveal about recent personnel changes. Personnel changes? You mentioned transitions earlier, but you seemed hesitant to elaborate on the specifics.
If someone's getting fired, just tell us straight. The suspense is killing me more than any bad news could. I agree with Lance. Uncertainty is worse for productivity than transparency, even when the truth is uncomfortable.
Whatever the changes are, I hope they don't disrupt the positive team dynamic we've worked so hard to build. The changes don't involve anyone being fired. Actually, they involve someone being hired. Someone with extensive experience in this industry. New executive hire? I hope they appreciate the systems and processes we've already established here.
As long as they don't come in trying to reinvent everything that's already working perfectly fine. What's their background? Previous companies, experience level, management philosophy?
This particular executive has a very unique background. Some might say controversial, depending on your perspective. Controversial how? Please tell me we're not dealing with someone who has ethical issues or legal problems. Nothing illegal, but there are some unresolved conflicts with their previous employer that created quite a bit of industry gossip. Industry gossip can be devastating for reputation. We've worked hard to maintain our professional image.
What kind of conflicts are we talking about? Financial disputes, intellectual property issues, personality clashes? More importantly, how might these conflicts affect our company's relationship with other businesses in our network?
The conflicts were primarily personal rather than professional, though the two became intertwined in unfortunate ways. Personal conflicts that spill into professional settings usually indicate poor judgment or boundary management. Unless the personal conflicts were caused by unethical behavior from the previous employer. Context matters in these situations.
True. Sometimes good people get caught in bad situations through no fault of their own. We should probably get more details before making judgments about character or competence.
The details are quite fascinating, actually. This executive was previously married to the CEO of our biggest competitor. Married to our competitor's CEO? That's definitely a conflict of interest, both personal and professional.
Was married? Past tense suggests divorce, which could explain the industry gossip you mentioned. Divorce proceedings can get messy, especially when significant business assets are involved.
I hope the divorce was amicable and won't create ongoing drama that affects our workplace. The divorce was anything but amicable. In fact, it was quite vindictive and destructive for everyone involved. Vindictive divorces usually involve accusations, legal battles, and damaged reputations all around.
Which explains why hiring this person might be considered controversial by industry observers. Are we potentially inheriting their legal problems or ongoing disputes with their ex-spouse?
The legal aspects have been resolved, but the personal animosity remains quite intense. Intense personal animosity sounds like a recipe for workplace tension and uncomfortable situations. Especially if we have ongoing business relationships with their former spouse's company.
This could complicate contract negotiations and partnership discussions significantly. We need to understand the potential business implications before moving forward with this hire.
Actually, the business implications might be more advantageous than problematic. This person knows our competitors' strategies intimately. Intimate knowledge of competitor strategies could provide significant market advantages if used ethically.
The key word being ethically. We can't use proprietary information or trade secrets inappropriately. There are legal boundaries around what former employees can share about previous employers.
And moral boundaries about exploiting personal relationships for business gain. This particular situation is more complex than typical employment transitions. The personal betrayal was quite severe. Betrayal suggests that the animosity might be justified rather than petty or frivolous.
Justified animosity can be even more dangerous than petty disputes because it tends to be more focused and strategic. Strategic thinking applied to personal vendettas rarely ends well for anyone involved.
Perhaps strategic thinking is exactly what we need. This person has very specific plans for dealing with their former spouse. Plans for dealing with an ex-spouse sound ominous. What kind of plans are we talking about? Please tell me we're not becoming accomplices to some elaborate revenge scheme.
Revenge schemes have a way of backfiring spectacularly and taking everyone down with them. We need to maintain professional boundaries and avoid personal vendettas that could damage our reputation.
You're all missing the point. This person died 3 years ago, came back with perfect knowledge, and has a plan that's already in motion. Died? What do you mean died? People don't just come back from the dead to seek revenge. Are we talking metaphorically about career death or reputation destruction?
Because that would make more sense than actual literal death and resurrection. Literal death and resurrection only happen in fairy tales and religious stories, not in business environments.
3 years ago, this person had everything taken from them through careful manipulation and betrayal. Their business, their money, their reputation, even their will to live. They chose to end the pain permanently, but something extraordinary happened during those final moments. That sounds like a tragic story, but also like something that requires professional help rather than business solutions. Professional help and support systems exist to help people through devastating circumstances without resorting to extreme measures.
Extreme measures rarely solve problems and often create additional complications for everyone involved. Everyone involved includes us now, apparently, which makes me very uncomfortable about our potential liability.
They literally returned to their wedding day with full knowledge of what would happen next. Complete memory of every betrayal, every stolen dollar, every lie told to destroy them. Time travel fantasies are common coping mechanisms for people who've experienced severe trauma and loss. Coping mechanisms help people process difficult experiences, but they shouldn't be mistaken for reality.
Reality is that we're sitting in a conference room discussing quarterly reports, not supernatural revenge plots. Supernatural explanations aside, we need to focus on practical business implications of hiring someone with serious psychological issues.
The psychological issues belong to the people who committed murder and theft, not to the person seeking justice. Justice should be pursued through legal channels rather than elaborate personal vendetta schemes. Personal vendettas create liability issues for companies that become involved, even indirectly.
Indirect involvement can become direct involvement very quickly when law enforcement starts investigating. Investigating what exactly? Are we talking about actual crimes or perceived injustices that feel criminal?
Actual murder disguised as suicide, theft of millions in assets, bribery of officials to cover up evidence. Those are serious criminal allegations that should be reported to appropriate authorities immediately. Appropriate authorities have resources for investigating complex crimes that individual civilians cannot handle safely.
Safety considerations are important when dealing with people capable of murder and conspiracy. Conspiracy charges can implicate multiple people, including business associates who provide assistance unknowingly.
The assistance has already been provided. Financial records have been recovered. Witness testimony has been secured. Evidence has been compiled. Compiled evidence should be turned over to prosecutors rather than used for personal revenge schemes. Revenge schemes often backfire and harm innocent people who become collateral damage.
Collateral damage includes employees and companies that become associated with vigilante justice. Vigilante justice undermines rule of law and creates dangerous precedents for society.
Society failed to protect an innocent person from murder. Sometimes individual action is the only option remaining. Individual action should still operate within legal and ethical boundaries. Ethical boundaries exist to protect everyone, including people we don't like or trust.
Trust in legal systems depends on everyone following established procedures rather than creating personal exceptions. Personal exceptions based on individual judgment create chaos that hurts everyone eventually.
Eventually doesn't matter to people who are already dead because the system failed them completely. Failed systems can be reformed and improved rather than bypassed through illegal means. Illegal means create additional problems while rarely solving the original issues effectively.
Effective solutions require patience and commitment to working within established frameworks. Established frameworks provide accountability that personal justice schemes cannot offer.
Accountability frameworks didn't prevent murder or punish the perpetrators appropriately. Unpunished perpetrators can still be prosecuted when new evidence becomes available. Available evidence should be presented through proper channels rather than used for personal retaliation.
Retaliation often escalates conflicts beyond anyone's ability to control outcomes. Controlled outcomes are more likely when professionals handle complex legal matters.
Professionals were corrupted the first time. This situation requires a more direct approach. Direct approaches that bypass legal systems often create more injustice than they resolve. Resolved injustice through proper means provides closure that revenge cannot offer.
Revenge typically creates cycles of retaliation that harm innocent people. Innocent people deserve protection from both original crimes and vengeful responses.
The plan protects innocent people by exposing the truth about what really happened. Exposed truth should be revealed through investigative journalism or legal proceedings. Legal proceedings provide formal recognition that personal revenge schemes cannot achieve.
Achievement through proper channels creates lasting solutions rather than temporary satisfaction. Temporary satisfaction often turns into long-term regret when consequences become apparent.
Consequences are already apparent for the person who is murdered and their family. Family members deserve justice through legitimate means rather than dangerous vigilante actions. Vigilante actions often put family members at risk of retaliation or legal consequences.
Legal consequences can include criminal charges for anyone who assists with illegal activities. Illegal activities are prosecuted regardless of underlying motivations or perceived justifications.
Perceived justifications include recovering stolen money and exposing murderers to public scrutiny. Public scrutiny should come from media investigation rather than personal vendettas. Media investigation provides credibility that private revenge schemes lack entirely.
Entirely credible investigations require cooperation with official authorities. Official authorities have expertise and resources that individuals cannot replicate safely.
Safety wasn't a priority for the people who committed murder for financial gain. Financial gain through murder represents the worst kind of criminal behavior. Criminal behavior should be prosecuted through established legal processes.
Legal processes may be imperfect, but they're superior to personal justice systems. Personal justice systems vary according to individual capability and judgment.
Individual judgment, in this case, is informed by perfect knowledge of what actually happened. Perfect knowledge claims should be verified through independent sources and evidence. Evidence verification is exactly what legal processes are designed to accomplish.
Accomplished justice through proper channels serves everyone's long-term interests. Long-term interests include maintaining social stability and rule of law.
Social stability was already undermined when murderers were allowed to profit from their crimes. Profiting from crimes should be prevented through asset forfeiture and prosecution. Prosecution provides appropriate consequences while maintaining legal legitimacy.
Legal legitimacy supports social order better than individual revenge schemes. Revenge schemes often spiral beyond their original scope and intended targets.
The scope is precisely defined, and the targets are limited to actual criminals. Actual criminals should be identified through investigation rather than personal accusation. Personal accusations can be biased by emotion and incomplete information.
Incomplete information leads to mistakes that harm innocent people unnecessarily. Unnecessary harm undermines any justice that might be achieved through illegal means.
Illegal means become necessary when legal means have been corrupted completely. Completely corrupted systems can be reformed through sustained public pressure. Public pressure creates political incentives for officials to act appropriately.
Appropriate action by officials serves justice while preserving institutional legitimacy. Institutional legitimacy supports social cohesion and public trust.
Public trust was destroyed when justice systems protected murderers from consequences. Destroyed trust can be rebuilt through transparency and accountability measures. Accountability measures ensure that future cases receive appropriate attention.
Appropriate attention prevents the kind of corruption that allowed this situation. Prevented corruption serves everyone's interests better than individual vigilante responses.
Individual responses become necessary when collective responses fail completely. Failed collective responses can be improved rather than abandoned entirely. Abandoned systems create power vacuums that dangerous people exploit.
Exploited power vacuums lead to chaos that hurts innocent people more than guilty ones. Guilty people should face consequences through accountable institutions rather than personal revenge.
The plan is perfect. Evidence has been delivered to multiple news organizations. Financial records have been recovered. Witness testimony has been secured. Justice will be served with a smile. Serve justice through media exposure could lead to prosecution through proper channels. Proper channels provide legitimacy and accountability that personal schemes cannot offer.
Personal schemes often create unintended consequences that harm innocent people. Innocent people include employees and business partners who had nothing to do with past crimes.
Past crimes will be exposed completely, but only the actual perpetrators will face consequences. Facing consequences through legal processes protects everyone's rights. Protected rights ensure that justice serves truth rather than emotion.
Emotional justice often becomes injustice when it exceeds appropriate boundaries. Appropriate boundaries are defined by law rather than personal judgment.
Personal judgment informed by perfect knowledge is superior to laws that protect criminals. Protected criminals can be exposed and prosecuted when evidence becomes available. Available evidence should be presented properly rather than used for personal retaliation.
Retaliation creates cycles of violence that benefit no one ultimately. Ultimate justice serves society's interests rather than individual satisfaction.
Individual satisfaction includes seeing murderers face real consequences for their actions. Real consequences should come through legitimate legal proceedings. Legitimate proceedings ensure fairness for everyone involved.
Everyone involved deserves protection from both crime and vigilante justice. Vigilante justice undermines the rule of law that protects all citizens.
Citizens weren't protected when corruption allowed murder to go unpunished. Unpunished murder can still be prosecuted when new evidence emerges. Emerging evidence provides hope for delayed but legitimate justice.
Legitimate justice is worth waiting for rather than settling for revenge. Revenge often fails to provide the closure that proper justice achieves.
Proper justice will be achieved when the truth is revealed and the criminals face consequences. Revealed truth should lead to official investigation and prosecution. Prosecution through proper channels provides closure for victims and families.
Family closure requires seeing justice served rather than revenge taken. Justice served through legitimate means benefits everyone in society.
Society will benefit when murderers are exposed and their stolen wealth is recovered. Recovered wealth should be returned to rightful heirs through legal processes. Legal processes ensure that property rights are respected and protected.
Protected property rights support economic stability and social order. Social order depends on predictable application of fair laws.
Fair laws would have prevented the murder and protected the innocent victim. Protected victims represent the ultimate goal of effective justice systems. Effective systems can be improved through reform rather than abandonment.
Abandoned systems create instability that hurts everyone eventually. Everyone benefits when justice is served through accountable institutions.
Accountable institutions failed completely in this case, requiring alternative approaches. Alternative approaches should still respect legal and ethical boundaries. Ethical boundaries protect society from descending into chaos and lawlessness.
Lawlessness benefits the strongest rather than the most deserving. Deserving outcomes require fair processes that everyone can respect.
Respectable outcomes include exposing truth, recovering stolen assets, and ensuring that murderers face appropriate consequences. The Queen has returned, and her perfect plan is now complete. Complete plans often have unexpected complications that weren't anticipated during planning phases. Planning phases should include contingency strategies for potential obstacles and setbacks.
Setbacks are inevitable in complex undertakings, regardless of how thorough the preparation. Preparation helps minimize risks, but it cannot eliminate all possible sources of failure.
Failure isn't possible when you have perfect knowledge of exactly what will happen next. Perfect knowledge assumes that other people won't change their behavior patterns. Behavior patterns can shift when people realize they're being targeted or investigated.
Investigated people often become defensive and take countermeasures to protect themselves. Countermeasures can include destroying evidence or intimidating potential witnesses.
Evidence has already been secured, and witnesses have already provided testimony to authorities. Authorities should be able to verify claims through independent investigation. Independent investigation provides credibility that personal accusations cannot achieve.
Achieve credibility through proper channels serves justice better than vigilante actions. Vigilante actions often lack the procedural safeguards that protect innocent people.
Innocent people weren't protected when the justice system was corrupted by money. Corrupted systems can be reformed through transparency and accountability measures. Accountability measures ensure that officials serve justice rather than personal interests.
Personal interests often conflict with public duty in complex cases. Complex cases require careful analysis rather than emotional responses.
Emotional responses are appropriate when dealing with murder and systematic corruption. Systematic corruption requires systematic solutions rather than individual actions. Individual actions often fail to address root causes of institutional problems.
Institutional problems affect multiple cases, not just individual grievances. Individual grievances should be addressed through established complaint procedures.
Established procedures failed to prevent murder or punish the perpetrators. Failed procedures can be improved through legislative reform and oversight. Oversight mechanisms help ensure that officials perform their duties appropriately.
Appropriate performance of duties serves public interests rather than private ones. Private interests sometimes align with public interests, but not in criminal cases.
Criminal cases involving murder should result in swift and severe punishment. Swift punishment should not compromise thorough investigation and due process. Due process protects everyone's rights while ensuring that justice is served.
Serve justice through proper channels provides closure and prevents vigilante responses. Vigilante responses undermine social stability and rule of law.
Social stability was already undermined when murderers were protected by corruption. Protected murderers can still be prosecuted when new evidence becomes available. Available evidence should be presented through appropriate legal channels.
Legal channels provide legitimacy that personal revenge schemes cannot offer. Personal schemes often create additional problems while failing to solve original ones.
Original problems included murder, theft, and corruption at the highest levels. Highest level corruption requires federal investigation rather than local prosecution. Federal investigation provides independence from local conflicts of interest.
Conflicts of interest compromise the integrity of legal proceedings. Legal proceedings should be fair and impartial regardless of personal relationships.
Personal relationships didn't prevent murder when money was the motive. Money motives in murder cases require thorough financial investigation. Financial investigation can reveal patterns of behavior that support prosecution.
Prosecution success depends on having credible evidence and witnesses. Credible witnesses often need protection from retaliation by powerful defendants.
Powerful defendants have already been exposed through careful documentation. Documented evidence should be preserved and protected until trial. Trial proceedings provide formal recognition of criminal behavior.
Criminal behavior should result in appropriate punishment and asset forfeiture. Asset forfeiture returns stolen property to rightful owners or heirs.
Rightful heirs include family members who are also targeted for elimination. Targeted family members should receive protection from law enforcement. Law enforcement protection ensures that witnesses can testify safely.
Safe testimony allows truth to be revealed publicly. Public revelation of truth serves justice and deters future crimes.
Future crimes will be prevented when criminals realize they cannot escape consequences. Inescapable consequences require functioning justice systems. Functioning systems depend on honest officials and proper procedures.
Proper procedures protect everyone's rights while ensuring accountability. Accountability mechanisms should prevent corruption and misconduct.
Prevention failed when officials were bribed to ignore evidence. Ignored evidence can be re-examined when corruption is exposed. Exposed corruption often leads to broader investigation of related cases.
Related cases might reveal patterns of systematic misconduct. Systematic misconduct requires comprehensive reform rather than individual prosecution.
Individual prosecution is necessary to establish consequences for specific crimes. Specific crimes should be prosecuted according to their severity. Severe crimes like murder deserve the harshest available penalties.
Available penalties should be applied consistently regardless of defendant wealth. Defendant wealth should not influence prosecution decisions or sentencing.
Sentencing should reflect the severity of harm caused to victims. Victim harm includes not just death, but financial destruction of families. Family destruction represents additional criminal behavior beyond the murder itself.
Multiple criminal acts should result in multiple charges and penalties. Accumulated penalties should reflect the full scope of criminal behavior.
A criminal behavior in this case included murder, theft, bribery, and conspiracy. Conspiracy charges can implicate multiple people who assisted the primary perpetrator. Primary perpetrators should face the harshest punishment while accomplices face lesser charges.
Lesser charges still carry serious consequences for people who aided criminal activity. Criminal activity that results in death should be prosecuted as capital murder.
Capital murder prosecution requires prosecutors who haven't been corrupted. Corrupted prosecutors can be removed and replaced with ethical alternatives. Ethical alternatives ensure that cases are prosecuted fairly and thoroughly.
Thorough prosecution requires examining all evidence and interviewing all witnesses. All witnesses should be protected from intimidation or retaliation.
Retaliation wasn't prevented when key witnesses disappeared mysteriously. Mysterious disappearances should trigger federal investigation for witness tampering. Witness tampering charges carry severe penalties that deter future misconduct.
Future misconduct prevention serves justice and protects potential victims. Protected victims represent the ultimate success of justice systems.
Justice systems succeeded when they protected murderers instead of victims. Failed protection can be corrected through improved procedures and oversight. Oversight ensures that officials perform their duties properly.
Proper performance includes investigating crimes thoroughly regardless of political pressure. Political pressure often interferes with criminal justice in high-profile cases.
High-profile cases require special attention to ensure fair treatment. Fair treatment includes protecting both defendants' rights and victims' interests. Victims' interests include seeing justice served through proper legal channels.
Proper channels provide legitimacy that personal revenge cannot achieve. Achieve justice through legitimate means benefit society as a whole.
Society as a whole benefits when criminals face real consequences for their actions. Real consequences should be determined by courts rather than individuals. Individual determination of consequences leads to arbitrary and unfair outcomes.
Unfair outcomes undermine public trust in justice systems. Justice systems depend on public trust to function effectively.
Effective function requires honest officials who cannot be bought or intimidated. Intimidated officials should report threats to appropriate authorities. Appropriate authorities should investigate and prosecute attempts at obstruction.
Obstruction of justice charges help protect the integrity of legal proceedings. Legal proceedings should be free from external influence or interference.
External influence already corrupted the original investigation completely. Corrupted investigations can be reopened when new evidence emerges. Emerging evidence provides hope for delayed but legitimate justice.
Legitimate justice is worth pursuing even when it takes longer than expected. Expected timelines for justice should account for complexity and thoroughness.
Thorough investigation would have revealed the truth about what happened. Revealed truth serves justice better than hidden facts or suppressed evidence. Suppressed evidence often indicates corruption or misconduct by officials.
Official misconduct should result in criminal charges and removal from office. Removed officials should face prosecution for their role in obstructing justice.
Justice obstruction enabled murderers to escape consequences and profit from crimes. Profiting from crimes should be prevented through asset forfeiture proceedings. Asset forfeiture provides restitution to victims and their families.
Family restitution helps address some of the harm caused by criminal behavior. Criminal behavior causes harm that extends beyond immediate victims.
Extended harm includes financial destruction of innocent family members. Innocent family members deserve protection and support from justice systems. Justice systems should serve victims rather than protecting criminals.
Protected criminals often commit additional crimes when they escape consequences. Escaped consequences encourage criminal behavior rather than deterring it.
A criminal behavior was encouraged when the murder was covered up successfully. Successful cover-ups indicate systematic problems with justice institutions. Institutional problems require comprehensive reform rather than individual fixes.
Individual fixes often fail to address underlying causes of dysfunction. Underlying dysfunction affects multiple cases beyond individual grievances.
Individual grievances accumulate to create patterns of systematic failure. Systematic failure requires intervention from higher authorities. Higher authorities should have independence from local corruption networks.
Independence ensures that investigations are conducted fairly and thoroughly. Thorough investigations often reveal evidence that was previously overlooked.
Previously overlooked evidence is exactly what has now been recovered. Recovered evidence should be authenticated through proper scientific methods. Scientific methods ensure that evidence can withstand legal scrutiny.
Legal scrutiny protects defendants' rights while establishing facts. Established facts form the foundation for fair legal judgments.
Fair judgments would have convicted the murderer and recovered stolen assets. Stolen assets can still be recovered through civil forfeiture proceedings. Civil proceedings have lower burden of proof than criminal cases.
Lower burden makes asset recovery possible even when criminal prosecution fails. Failed criminal prosecution doesn't preclude civil remedies for victims.
Civil remedies are insufficient when the crime was murder for profit. Murder for profit represents the most serious type of criminal behavior. Serious criminal behavior deserves serious consequences through proper legal channels.
Proper channels ensure that consequences are fair and proportionate. Proportionate consequences serve justice without creating additional injustice.
Additional injustice was created when murderers were allowed to keep stolen money. Stolen money should be recoverable through legal action. Legal action provides legitimate means for addressing criminal behavior.
Criminal behavior should be prosecuted regardless of time elapsed since commission. Time limitations exist for some crimes, but not for murder.
Murder prosecution can proceed when new evidence becomes available. Available evidence should be evaluated objectively by qualified professionals. Professional evaluation ensures that evidence meets legal standards.
Legal standards protect both prosecutors and defendants from unreliable evidence. Unreliable evidence undermines the integrity of legal proceedings.
Legal proceedings lacked integrity when evidence was deliberately suppressed. Suppressed evidence often indicates prosecutorial misconduct. Prosecutorial misconduct should result in dismissal and criminal charges.
Criminal charges against prosecutors help ensure ethical behavior. Ethical behavior by officials is essential for public trust in institutions.
Public trust was destroyed when institutions protected murderers. Destroyed trust can be rebuilt through transparency and accountability. Accountability requires consequences for officials who fail their duties.
Failed duties include investigating crimes thoroughly and prosecuting appropriately. Appropriate prosecution serves justice while protecting defendants' rights.
Defendants' rights weren't violated when they were actually guilty of murder. Guilt should be established through fair trial rather than personal conviction. Personal conviction can be biased by emotion and incomplete information.
Incomplete information leads to wrong conclusions and unjust outcomes. Unjust outcomes harm both individuals and society as a whole.
Society was harmed when murderers escaped consequences and kept stolen wealth. Escaped consequences can still be imposed when new evidence emerges. New evidence provides opportunities for delayed justice.
Delayed justice is better than no justice at all. Justice served through proper means benefits everyone involved.
Everyone involved includes the victim, who deserve protection and justice. Deserved protection should have been provided by functioning institutions. Functioning institutions require honest officials and proper procedures.
Proper procedures protect everyone's rights while ensuring accountability. Accountability serves justice and maintains public trust.
Public trust was betrayed when justice was sold to the highest bidder. Betrayed trust can be restored through reform and transparency. Transparency helps prevent corruption and misconduct.
Prevented corruption serves everyone's interest better than reactive punishment. Reactive punishment is still necessary to establish consequences.
Established consequences should include recovering stolen assets and exposing truth. Exposed truth serves justice and helps prevent similar crimes. Crime prevention requires both individual consequences and systematic reform.
Systematic reform takes time, but creates lasting improvements. Lasting improvements benefit society more than individual revenge.
Individual revenge becomes necessary when society fails to protect innocent people. Failed protection should motivate reform rather than vigilante action. Vigilante action undermines the rule of law that protects everyone.
Protected society depends on predictable application of fair laws. Fair laws should be applied consistently regardless of personal relationships.
Personal relationships didn't prevent murder when financial gain was the motive. Financial motives in murder cases require thorough asset investigation. Asset investigation can reveal patterns that support criminal prosecution.
Criminal prosecution provides appropriate consequences for serious crimes. Serious crimes like murder deserve the maximum available penalties.
Maximum penalties should include life imprisonment and complete asset forfeiture. Asset forfeiture should return stolen property to rightful owners. Rightful ownership can be established through proper documentation.
Proper documentation provides evidence that courts can evaluate. Evaluated evidence forms the basis for fair legal judgments.
Fair judgments would have prevented the murder and protected the innocent victim. Protected victims represent the ultimate goal of effective justice systems. Effective systems require constant vigilance and improvement.
Improvement efforts should focus on preventing future crimes. Future crime prevention serves society better than reactive punishment alone.
Reactive punishment is still necessary when prevention fails completely. Failed prevention should motivate systematic improvements. Systematic improvements require sustained effort and political will.
Political will often depends on public pressure and media attention. Media attention can help expose corruption and misconduct.
Exposed corruption should result in prosecution and removal of corrupt officials. Removed officials should face criminal charges for their misconduct. Criminal charges against officials help deter future corruption.
Future corruption prevention serves justice and public trust. Public trust depends on seeing officials held accountable for misconduct.
Accountable officials would have prevented this tragedy from occurring. Prevented tragedies represent the ultimate success of justice systems. Justice systems should protect innocent people rather than enabling criminals.
Enabled criminals often escalate their behavior when they escape consequences. Escape consequences encourage additional criminal activity.
Additional criminal activity was prevented by exposing the truth about what happened. Exposed truth should lead to appropriate legal action. Legal action provides legitimate means for addressing criminal behavior.
Criminal behavior deserves punishment through proper judicial processes. Judicial processes ensure fairness while delivering justice.
Delivered justice includes recovering stolen assets and punishing all conspirators. Conspirator punishment should reflect their level of involvement. Involvement levels can be determined through thorough investigation.
Thorough investigation often reveals evidence that changes everything. Changed circumstances can lead to successful prosecution of complex cases.
Complex cases require special expertise and dedicated resources. Dedicated resources ensure that justice is served properly. Proper justice serves truth while protecting everyone's rights.
Protected rights include both victims' rights and defendants' rights. Balanced rights protection ensures fair treatment for everyone.
Fair treatment wasn't provided when corruption protected murderers from consequences. Protected murderers can still be prosecuted when evidence becomes available. Available evidence provides hope for delayed justice.
Delayed justice through proper channels is better than immediate vigilante action. Vigilante action often creates more problems than it solves.
The problems have been solved. The plan worked perfectly. Justice has been served with a smile and a perfect strategy. Perfect strategies often have unforeseen consequences that emerge later. Later consequences can sometimes be more serious than original problems.
Original problems should be addressed through proper channels rather than personal schemes. Personal schemes lack the accountability that institutional processes provide.
Institutional processes failed to provide accountability when they were needed most. Failed accountability can be restored through reform and transparency measures. Transparency measures help prevent future corruption and misconduct.
Future misconduct prevention serves society better than reactive punishment. Reactive punishment is still necessary to establish consequences for past crimes.
Past crimes have now been exposed completely with irrefutable evidence. Irrefutable evidence should be presented through proper legal channels. Legal channels provide legitimacy that personal actions cannot achieve.
Achieved legitimacy through proper means serves justice better than vigilante responses. Vigilante responses often create additional legal problems for everyone involved.
Everyone involved in the conspiracy will now face appropriate consequences. Appropriate consequences should be determined by courts rather than individuals. Individual determination of punishment leads to arbitrary and unfair outcomes.
Unfair outcomes undermine public trust in justice systems. Justice systems require public trust to function effectively in society.
Society's trust was already broken when justice protected murderers instead of victims. Broken trust can be repaired through consistent ethical behavior by officials. Official behavior should prioritize justice over personal or political considerations.
Political considerations often interfere with criminal justice in complex cases. Complex cases require special attention to ensure fair and thorough investigation.
Thorough investigation would have revealed the truth about the planned murder. Planned murder represents premeditated criminal behavior deserving maximum punishment. Maximum punishment should be imposed through legitimate legal proceedings.
Legal proceedings ensure that punishment fits the crime appropriately. Appropriate punishment serves both justice and deterrent purposes.
Deterrent purposes are served when criminals realize they cannot escape consequences. Inescapable consequences require functioning and honest justice systems. Honest systems depend on officials who cannot be corrupted or intimidated.
Intimidation of officials represents additional criminal behavior. Criminal behavior that obstructs justice should be prosecuted vigorously.
Vigorous prosecution would have prevented the cover-up of murder. Prevented cover-ups serve justice and maintain public confidence. Public confidence in institutions is essential for social stability.
Social stability depends on predictable application of fair laws. Fair laws should protect innocent people while punishing criminal behavior.
Criminal behavior included not just murder, but systematic theft of assets. Stolen assets should be recovered through asset forfeiture proceedings. Asset forfeiture provides restitution without requiring additional criminal trials.
Criminal trials are still necessary to establish guilt and impose appropriate punishment. Appropriate punishment for murder should include life imprisonment or execution.
Execution would be appropriate given the premeditated nature of the crime. Premeditation should be proven through evidence rather than assumption. Evidence-based prosecution ensures that innocent people aren't wrongly convicted.
Wrongful conviction represents one of the worst failures of justice systems. Justice system failures harm both individuals and society as a whole.
Society was harmed when murderers were protected and victims were ignored. Ignored victims deserve posthumous justice through proper legal action. Legal action provides formal recognition of criminal behavior and victim harm.
Victim harm extends beyond death to include family financial destruction. Financial destruction of families represents additional criminal behavior.
Additional criminal behavior should result in enhanced penalties. Enhanced penalties should reflect the full scope of harm caused. Caused harm includes both immediate damage and long-term consequences.
Long-term consequences affect multiple generations of family members. Family impact should be considered during sentencing procedures.
Sentencing procedures would have imposed maximum penalties if justice had functioned. Functioning justice requires honest officials and proper procedures. Proper procedures protect everyone's rights while ensuring accountability.
Accountability mechanisms should prevent corruption and ensure fair treatment. Fair treatment includes both protecting defendants' rights and serving victims' interests.
Victims' interests were completely ignored when the murder was covered up. Covered-up murders can still be prosecuted when new evidence emerges. Emerging evidence provides opportunities for delayed but legitimate justice.
Legitimate justice serves truth while maintaining social order. Social order depends on consistent application of fair laws.
Fair laws weren't applied when money corrupted the entire process. Corrupted processes can be reformed through oversight and transparency. Transparency helps expose corruption and prevent future misconduct.
Future misconduct prevention serves everyone's long-term interests. Long-term interests include maintaining trust in legal institutions.
Trust in institutions was destroyed when they protected killers. Destroyed trust can be rebuilt through consistent ethical behavior. Ethical behavior by officials demonstrates commitment to justice.
Justice commitment requires pursuing truth regardless of political pressure. Political pressure often interferes with criminal investigations.
Criminal investigations were corrupted by bribes and threats. Corrupt investigations should be reopened by independent authorities. Independent authorities provide objectivity that local officials may lack.
Local corruption networks can influence multiple levels of government. Multiple level corruption requires federal intervention to ensure fairness.
Federal intervention was requested because local corruption was complete. Complete corruption represents systematic failure requiring comprehensive reform. Comprehensive reform takes time, but creates lasting improvements.
Lasting improvements benefit future victims of potential crimes. Crime prevention through institutional reform serves society broadly.
Society wasn't served when institutions protected murderers from prosecution. Failed prosecution can be corrected when new evidence becomes available. Available evidence should be evaluated objectively by qualified experts.
Expert evaluation ensures that evidence meets legal standards. Legal standards protect both prosecution and defense from unreliable evidence.
Reliable evidence has now been compiled and distributed to multiple authorities. Distributed evidence should be authenticated through proper scientific methods. Scientific methods ensure that evidence can withstand legal challenges.
Legal challenges help ensure that only valid evidence influences outcomes. Valid outcomes serve justice while protecting innocent people.
Innocent people weren't protected when the justice system was corrupted. Corrupted systems can be cleaned up through sustained reform efforts. Reform efforts require political will and public support.
Public support often emerges when corruption is exposed publicly. Public exposure helps create pressure for appropriate action.
Appropriate action includes prosecuting murderers and recovering stolen money. Stolen money should be returned to legitimate heirs through legal processes. Legal processes ensure that property rights are respected and protected.
Protected property rights support economic stability and individual security. Individual security depends on predictable enforcement of law.
Law enforcement failed when officers were bribed to ignore evidence. Bribed officers should face prosecution for corruption and obstruction. Obstruction of justice charges help protect the integrity of legal proceedings.
Legal proceedings should be free from external interference or influence. External influence often corrupts outcomes in high-stakes cases.
High-stakes cases require special protection from corruption attempts. Protection from corruption requires oversight and transparency measures. Transparency measures help ensure that justice is served fairly.
Fair justice serves both individual victims and society as a whole. Societal benefits include deterrence of future crimes through consistent punishment.
Consistent punishment would have prevented this murder from occurring. Prevented murder represents the ultimate success of justice systems. Justice systems should protect potential victims rather than enable criminals.
Enabled criminals often escalate their behavior when they escape consequences. Escape consequences encourage additional criminal activity.
Additional criminal activity was prevented by exposing all conspirators. Exposed conspirators should face prosecution according to their level of involvement. Involvement levels can be determined through careful investigation.
Careful investigation often reveals evidence that was previously overlooked. Overlooked evidence sometimes provides crucial information for prosecution.
Crucial information has now been compiled into a comprehensive case. Comprehensive cases require thorough review by qualified prosecutors. Qualified prosecutors should have experience with complex criminal conspiracies.
Criminal conspiracies involving murder require special expertise to prosecute successfully. Successful prosecution serves justice while deterring similar crimes.
Similar crimes will be deterred when criminals realize they cannot escape justice. Inescapable justice requires honest officials and functioning institutions. Functioning institutions serve the public interest rather than private agendas.
Private agendas often conflict with public justice in corruption cases. Corruption cases require independent investigation and prosecution.
Independent prosecution wasn't possible when the entire system was corrupted. Corrupted systems can be bypassed through federal intervention. Federal intervention provides independence from local corruption networks.
Independence ensures that cases are decided on merit rather than influence. Merit-based decisions serve justice better than politically influenced outcomes.
Politically influenced outcomes protected murderers instead of serving justice. Failed justice can be corrected through appeal processes and new trials. New trials provide opportunities to correct past mistakes.
Past mistakes in justice cases can have devastating consequences for families. Family consequences include not just grief, but financial destruction.
Financial destruction was part of the planned murder scheme. Planned schemes involving murder deserve maximum criminal penalties. Maximum penalties should be imposed through legitimate court proceedings.
Court proceedings ensure that punishment fits the severity of crimes. Severe crimes like premeditated murder deserve life, imprisonment, or execution.
Execution would be appropriate given the calculated cruelty involved. Calculated cruelty should be proven through evidence rather than emotion. Evidence-based prosecution protects innocent people from wrongful punishment.
Wrongful punishment represents serious failure of justice systems. Justice system failures undermine public trust and social stability.
Social stability was already undermined when murderers escaped punishment. Escaped punishment can still be imposed when evidence becomes available. Available evidence provides hope for eventual justice.
Eventual justice through proper channels is better than immediate vigilante action. Vigilante action undermines the rule of law that protects everyone.
Rule of law didn't protect innocent victims from murder and theft. Failed protection should motivate reform rather than abandoning legal systems. Abandoned legal systems create chaos that hurts innocent people.
Innocent people deserve protection from both criminals and vigilantes. Protected society requires predictable application of fair laws.
Fair laws would have prevented murder and protected innocent victims. Protected victims represent the ultimate goal of effective justice. Effective justice requires both individual consequences and systematic reform.
Systematic reform takes time, but creates lasting protection. Lasting protection serves future potential victims of crime.
Future victims will be protected when criminals face real consequences. Real consequences should be imposed through legitimate legal processes. Legal processes ensure fairness while delivering appropriate punishment.
Appropriate punishment serves both justice and deterrent purposes. Deterrent effects help prevent similar crimes in the future.
Future prevention is less important than current justice for past crimes. Past crimes deserve attention, but prevention serves broader social interests. Social interests include maintaining trust in institutions and rule of law.
Rule of law protects everyone when it is applied consistently. Consistent application requires honest officials and proper procedures.
Honest officials would have investigated the murder thoroughly. Thorough investigation might have prevented the successful cover-up. Prevented cover-ups serve justice and maintain institutional integrity.
Institutional integrity depends on accountability for misconduct. Accountability requires consequences for officials who fail their duties.
Failed duties included investigating murder and prosecuting criminals. Criminal prosecution should proceed regardless of political considerations. Political considerations often interfere with justice in complex cases.
Complex cases require special attention to ensure fair outcomes. Fair outcomes serve justice while protecting everyone's rights.
Everyone's rights weren't protected when corruption enabled murder. Enabled murder represents the worst failure of justice systems. Failed systems can be reformed through sustained public pressure.
Public pressure creates political incentives for appropriate action. Appropriate action includes prosecuting crimes and reforming institutions.
Reformed institutions should have prevented this tragedy from occurring. Prevented tragedies represent the ultimate measure of institutional success. Successful institutions protect innocent people rather than enabling criminals.
Enabled criminals often commit additional crimes when they escape justice. Escape justice encourages criminal behavior rather than deterring it.
Criminal behavior has been thoroughly documented and exposed publicly. Public exposure should lead to appropriate legal action. Legal action provides legitimate means for addressing criminal behavior.
Criminal behavior deserves punishment through proper judicial processes. Judicial processes ensure that justice is served fairly and appropriately.
Appropriate justice includes recovering stolen assets and punishing conspirators. Conspirator punishment should reflect their individual level of involvement. Individual involvement can be determined through careful investigation.
Careful investigation protects innocent people from false accusations. False accusations represent serious miscarriage of justice.
Serious miscarriage occurred when murderers were protected instead of prosecuted. Failed prosecution can be corrected through new investigation. New investigation might reveal evidence that changes everything.
Changed evidence evaluation can lead to successful prosecution. Successful prosecution serves justice and restores public confidence.
Public confidence was destroyed when justice protected killers. Destroyed confidence can be rebuilt through transparency and accountability. Accountability ensures that officials serve justice rather than personal interests.
Personal interests often conflict with public duty in corruption cases. Corruption cases require independent oversight to ensure fairness.
Independent oversight wasn't provided when local systems were completely corrupted. Completely corrupted systems require external intervention. External intervention can provide objectivity that local officials lack.
Local corruption networks can influence multiple levels of authority. Multiple-level corruption requires comprehensive investigation.
Comprehensive investigation has now been completed with perfect results. Perfect results should be verified through independent review. Independent review helps ensure accuracy and credibility.
Credible evidence forms the foundation for successful prosecution. Successful prosecution serves justice while deterring future crimes.
Future crimes will be deterred when criminals face inevitable consequences. Inevitable consequences require functioning and honest justice systems. Honest systems depend on officials who prioritize duty over personal gain.
Personal gain through corruption undermines the entire justice system. Justice systems require integrity to maintain public trust.
Public trust was betrayed when murderers were protected and rewarded. Betrayed trust can be restored through consistent ethical behavior. Ethical behavior demonstrates commitment to serving justice.
Justice service requires courage to confront powerful criminals. Powerful criminals often escape justice through corruption and intimidation.
Escaped justice ends when evidence becomes public and undeniable. Undeniable evidence should lead to swift and appropriate action. Appropriate action serves both individual justice and public interest.
Public interest includes deterring crime through consistent punishment. Consistent punishment requires honest enforcement of law.
Law enforcement failed when it was corrupted by criminal money. Criminal money should be forfeited and returned to legitimate owners. Legitimate ownership can be established through proper legal documentation.
Legal documentation provides evidence that courts can evaluate objectively. Objective evaluation ensures that decisions are based on facts.
Factual evidence has been compiled and distributed to appropriate authorities. Appropriate authorities should investigate and prosecute accordingly. Prosecution should proceed based on evidence rather than politics.
Political considerations should not influence criminal justice decisions. Criminal justice serves the public interest rather than private agendas.
Public interest was ignored when murderers were protected by corruption. Protected murderers can still be prosecuted when truth is revealed. Revealed truth serves justice and helps restore public confidence.
Public confidence in institutions is essential for social stability. Social stability requires predictable enforcement of fair laws.
Fair laws would have prevented murder and protected innocent people. Protected people represent the ultimate goal of justice systems. Justice systems should serve victims rather than enabling criminals.
Enabled criminals represent complete failure of institutional purpose. Institutional purpose includes protecting society from dangerous people.
Dangerous people have now been identified and exposed completely. Exposed criminals should face prosecution through proper channels. Proper channels ensure that justice is served legitimately.
Legitimate justice serves truth while protecting everyone's rights. Protected rights include both victims' interests and defendants' protections.
Victims' interests were completely ignored when murder was covered up successfully. Successful cover-ups can be exposed when new evidence emerges. Emerging evidence provides opportunities for delayed justice.
Delayed justice is better than no justice at all. Justice served through proper means benefits everyone involved.
Everyone involved will now face consequences appropriate to their crimes. The foolish girl died, but the queen returned with perfect knowledge and an unstoppable plan. Justice has been served with a smile, and the guilty will pay for every sin. Every sin deserves appropriate punishment through legitimate legal processes. Legal processes ensure that justice serves truth rather than emotion.
Emotional justice often becomes injustice when it exceeds proper boundaries. Proper boundaries are essential for maintaining fair and effective justice systems.
Fair justice systems would have protected innocent victims from murder. Protected victims represent the ultimate measure of institutional success. Successful institutions serve the public interest rather than private corruption.
Private corruption destroys public trust in essential social institutions. Social institutions require integrity to function effectively for everyone.
Everyone benefits when criminals face real consequences for their actions. Real consequences should be determined through fair and impartial proceedings. Impartial proceedings serve justice while protecting all parties' rights.
Protected rights ensure that justice serves truth rather than power. Truth-based justice creates outcomes that society can respect and support.
Respected outcomes require honest investigation and fair application of law. Fair application protects innocent people while punishing criminal behavior. Criminal behavior deserves punishment proportionate to harm caused.
Proportionate punishment serves both justice and deterrent purposes effectively. Effective deterrence prevents future crimes while addressing past wrongs.
Past wrongs have been corrected through perfect planning and flawless execution. Flawless execution claims should be verified through independent review. Independent review ensures that outcomes are legitimate and sustainable.
Sustainable outcomes serve long-term justice rather than temporary satisfaction. Temporary satisfaction often leads to regret when consequences become apparent.
Apparent consequences include justice finally being served after years of corruption. Serve justice through proper channels provides closure for victims and families. Family closure helps healing while serving broader social interests.
Social interests include maintaining trust in institutions and rule of law. Rule of law protects everyone when applied consistently and fairly.
Consistent fairness would have prevented this entire tragic situation. Prevented tragedy represents the ultimate goal of effective justice. Effective justice requires both individual accountability and systematic integrity.
Systematic integrity depends on officials who prioritize duty over personal gain. Personal gain through corruption undermines the foundation of civilized society.
Civilized society failed when it allowed murder to be rewarded instead of punished. Failed punishment can be corrected through renewed commitment to justice. Justice commitment requires courage to confront powerful and dangerous criminals.
Dangerous criminals often escape consequences through money and influence. Escaped consequences encourage additional criminal behavior in the future.
Future criminal behavior has been prevented through complete exposure of the truth. Exposed truth should lead to appropriate legal action and reform. Reform efforts help prevent similar tragedies in the future.
Future prevention serves society better than reactive punishment alone. Reactive punishment is still necessary to establish consequences and deter crime.
Deterrent effects are maximized when criminals realize escape is impossible. Impossible escape requires honest officials and functioning institutions. Functioning institutions serve justice rather than protecting criminal interests.
Criminal interests often conflict with public safety and social order. Social order depends on predictable consequences for criminal behavior.
Predictable consequences would have prevented murder and protected innocent people. Protected people represent the true measure of justice system success. Successful systems balance individual rights with collective security needs.
Security needs include protection from both crime and governmental abuse. Governmental abuse occurs when officials prioritize personal gain over public duty.
Public duty was completely abandoned when murder was covered up for money. Covered-up crimes can still be prosecuted when evidence becomes available. Available evidence provides hope for justice even when it's delayed.
Delayed justice through proper channels maintains legitimacy and public trust. Public trust in institutions is essential for social stability and order.
Social order was destroyed when justice systems protected killers instead of victims.